Let's talk about this channel. The best of, you could say. I've been doing this for about a year and a few months. Most of my channel is garbage, trash. I have more dislikes than likes. I made so many mistakes in the beginning, and yet here I am. I'm in a playlist of what I consider is my 48 best videos. So if you're new to the channel, or if you're wondering what's in this forsaken YouTube, I can lead you through the few videos that I do like. Yes, the production is trash, but as a composition, on a writing basis, it's acceptable. First of all, what I consider my best video is Lecture, The Politics of Yang Wenli from Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I recommend that you watch the anime first, unless you don't mind spoilers. But it is a philosophical analysis on the politics of this man. To do this, I had to rewatch the series and take notes, type down almost all his dialogue, reorganize it, analyze it, put it in a group it up in a way that can be presented, as you can say. Like, to say it's a lecture is to say a very great thing, but I do know Yang Wenli like the back of my hand at this point. Second is The Shadow Who Followed the Light, the politics of Paul von Oberstein. Yeah, it's a shame that I still cannot afford a decent computer. I cannot do my edits. If I could, I definitely do some edits. Maybe I should just put my face on it, but I have no camera that can do something like that. But in this video, like when it comes to Yang Wenli, I have to rewatch Legend of the Galactic Heroes again. I went through it. I think it took me 2 weeks. It was during that time last month where I burned myself out, and I went down and typed down all his dialogue that I thought was relevant. I analyzed what other characters said about him and put it together in a 26-minute video. Now the music for the politics of Yang Wenli is music from the two 12 CD sound boxes to Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I put whatever suited Yang Wenli. For for Oberstein, I put whatever I thought suited him, and I ended up using some music by Falcom, which does suit him. And number three, or moving along, I would say, is my video on the radicalization of Jessica Edwards, a story of conflicted love. This is where I analyze the politics of Jessica Edwards and sort of went through the love triangle between her, John Robert Lapp, and Yang Wenli. Now, Jessica Edwards is a very radical individual. I often wonder what would have happened if Yang Wenli would have ended up with her. However, it's a tragedy, and it spirals out of control. But her character is still so inspiring. What a shame when it comes to Jessica Edwards. But it was a personal deep dive into a very conflicting love triangle, and I know that. So yeah, there's a video I want to make where I'm going to talk about what led to Legend of the Galactic Heroes, because that anime did not just come out of nowhere. It is a culmination of Space Battleship Yamato, Macross, Megazone, Dear My Love, Mobile Suit Gundam. There's just so much that culminated into Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I want to explore that one day. Comparing Texelize to our world. This is a very personal video where I try to analyze our world with Texelize's world. This is a horrifying video about parts of the world that you just would rather just not know about. However, I talked about it, brought it forward, brought it about, and I think it's a decent Texelize video. I'm currently working on another Texelize video involving Kazuho Yoshi. Sonny Boy analysis, analyzing the absurd. I have been defending Sonny Boy, or I did it all last year. And this is my analysis of the series. It's still just a speck, because there's so much to say about Sonny Boy. So it's just a brief analysis of the most important points. In defense of Sonny Boy, the reason the ghost among the deaths of heart and soul in anime. Okay, first of all, anime can have heart and soul. So if you disagree with that, please tell me why that doesn't exist. Now, the reason why I made this video is because there is a somewhat popular anime YouTuber that was trashing Sonny Boy, and then usually I wouldn't care, but this person just went on and on and on about it, calling it superficial and quote unquote stupid and nonsensical and whatnot. And so I gave him a piece of my mind, not to convince him, but just to state my opinion. And this person has no kind of reading comprehension and just kind of went on, and I addressed their arguments. And he said that I didn't address his arguments. And I went back and forth, and I just said ultimately that he's a waste of time and there's no point in doing this debate. And he still doesn't get it. And so I did this video sort of out of my frustration of Sonny Boy, and it turned into a very personal video about what anime means to me, amongst what amongst some closing thoughts on Sonny Boy. Ashra no Joe 1 and 2 review, Burning Bright. Now, like Legend of the Galactic Heroes, I love doing Ashra no Joe content, and this is my basic non-spoiler review of the series. Somehow I brought it down to 3.5 minutes, but this is the core of what Ashra no Joe is about. And I'm not done with this. I do plan to do more content for this series. Ashra no Joe 2 analysis and emotional deep dive. This is where I began to finally break away from that curse I had in the beginning of my YouTube career, where I talked more about the plot. That's why so many of my early videos are just bad, but they're there. That way you can see my evolution and how I progress over the months. But here is just a 1 hour personal deep dive into my favorite anime. I just express my emotions and just pour them out to all of you. It's not scripted though. It's all improvised, something that I rarely ever do. Sky Caller's analysis. This is one of my oldest videos that I still like. I like the approach I took here. I took the song and I used the theme of reincarnation within my analysis. But the production is so bad, just nobody cared about it. But I think it's very strong if you just take the text out or the video essay out and look at it. Monster series analysis. The reason why I watched Monster is because Single H, who is in my opinion the best reviewer on my anime list, second to Rebel Panda. Second? What I mean? No, second being Rebel Panda. Single H said that Monster is a 1 out of 10 and that this user cannot stand Johan. So I watched Monster and I gave it a 9 out of 10, and I analyzed it from beginning to end, and I realized that Single H does not know what they are talking about. So I would welcome this individual to be sober, not drunk like they appear to be most of the time, because there is some meaning to Monster. In this video, I argue that Monster is a misunderstood classic. Anime tastes do not revolve around yours. I've been thinking a lot about the anime community, and one of the things that just hurts about it is that nobody can get along. Nobody can come to a mutual understanding. Nobody can reach a common goal. Everybody is just so combative about anime. It's like what I like, or I don't like you. I mean, come on. Accept those that don't like anime that you like. That's part of what makes interesting discussion. And so with this video, what I wanted to say is that if you think that everybody should look at anime the same way that you do, you are delusional. Anime discourse is about our differences in opinion. And if you can be sincere, honest, analytical, calm, cool, and collected, and talk about it in a fair way, it can lead to a great discussion. But sadly, wherever you go, my analyst, Reddit, 4chan, YouTube, comment sections, wherever you go, it's always the smallest percentage of people in these communities that make the great discourse. It's hard to find wherever you go. A meeting between two giants, a Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I've always been fascinated by the meeting of these two characters. And granted, the first time I had no idea what they were talking about. I was so lost. But I kept rewatching it. And this time I was finally able to kind of break it down. The argument of democracy versus autocracy. Like I argue in my video, sometimes the best moment in anime isn't something flashy or great or grandiose, but just a simple meeting of two characters sitting down and talking politics. Kazuho Yoshi, full lore interpretations and analysis. This is, I think, the oldest video on this playlist. I basically did a deep dive. I did a deep dive into Kazuho Yoshi from Textualize. I also figured out where his character came from and what inspired his creation, which I dove into. It comes from what is it now? Like a 100-year-old book by a philosopher called Friedrich Nietzsche. Thus spoke Zarathustra, and I presented some passages from this video. I do plan to remake this video very soon, which will make this one redundant, but it is just my see. Test Alive is an anime that you have to interpret it as much as you can because they did it on purpose. There's so much to explore in this anime, and the rewatch value is amazing, just like it is in Sunny Boy. However, I do want to get back to this. I already have my title. I'm almost done rewatching. I'll get back to this. So, lecture: the politics of commentary. Here's something that you should know about me. I am very influenced by 1960s radical political theory, particularly from the West when it comes to the Black Panther Party, Martin Luther King, Robert Franklin Williams, Malcolm X, and also the anti-colonial movements of the African continent. This is why Legend of the Galactic Heroes appeals so much to me, because I have a background in politics, and this is a hour and a half deep dive into one of the most brilliant minds of that era. Unfortunately, the FBI, as bizarre as this sounds, the U.S. government gave him cancer. If you can understand that. See, we don't know the extent. The people do not know the extent to how advanced government anti-revolutionary tactics are. And what they can do is give you cancer. And I saw for myself, so many of my heroes died of cancer. And it's like, why? Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana died of skin cancer. Kwame Ture died of prostate cancer. Robert Williams died of prostate cancer. There's so much cancer among these people, and it's not an accident. It's by design. Lecture: The Politics of Fred Hampton, a brilliant man. He was killed by the Chicago police at the age of 21 because he was too dangerous. Lecture: The Politics of Amilcar Cabral. He is a revolutionary from Africa. He destroyed Portugal and he caused the liberation of his country. The reason why you don't know anything about his states is because he liberated them. So you don't know anything about what's happening in his land right now. But they were so mad at this man for creating such a strong anti-colonial force that the U.S. government and Portugal assassinated him. They killed him. He's one of the most intelligent people that ever existed. Moving along, Code Geass R2. This is getting pretty loud, isn't it? Most of my Code Geass videos are garbage because of the audio. They're also very old around the time I was talking more about the plot than anything else. And this one I analyzed the last episode of Code Geass R2, Season 2. It is one of the greatest endings in anime that I've ever seen, and I just sort of deep dived into it in a way that's almost embarrassing, you could say. Lecture: The Politics of Dr. Earl Grant, an extension of my my 60s radical political theory. This man died recently. Very smart individual. It's totally a deep dive into the messages that he left for us. Legend of the Heroes of the A series analysis. No spoiler version. This is a very basic review, sort of like an introduction to the series. I do plan to redo this. Nobody cared about this review. I posted it in my AniList. I don't want to post it on AniList because I want to redo it, but there was an attempt, you could say. Terrible Gacha number 1, non-racist mobile. I have been at the forefront of criticizing Gacha, and this is a game that I used to play. So I dropped it, and I did a deep dive into why the game is trash, and I got a lot of dislikes here. The same thing here. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, another Gacha game that I used to play, did a deep dive into why Gacha is trash, why Gacha is the poison of the gaming industry that is ruining it, and I got lots of dislikes. Same thing with Opera Omnia. I do still play this because a lot of people that I know play it. Now, you guys might not know. I don't know if my YouTube audience knows this, but I do stream on Twitch a lot. And when I do, I usually play this game. Just kind of hang out, talk about anime, answer questions. I do that pretty frequently. But this game is tolerable. It's tolerable. I refuse to spend money on Gacha regardless. Ai Tsushima, episodes 1 to 3. So this is me trying to be funny. Yeah, it didn't work so well, but I think that it's a historical attempt into me trying to be funny with a series that has like 2 minute long episodes. Dear My Love is me making a video inspired by my cross to deep dive into my own personal feelings about love and relationships. This is my magnum opus. And acceptable by hilarious 7 out of 10 comedy. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 thrice upon a time. I don't like the reboot series. I think it's trash. Look, man, when an anime series turns into a remake, but it's a movie series, they're always gonna be condensed, rushed garbage. It happens every single time. This is no different. And this was only a casual review. I had just watched this with A. We did the whole board, well, not the whole board, but there was a thread where somebody was willing to stream the movie. Like 40 of us watched it, and we were just laughing at how bad it was. Man, I just said basic things I didn't like about it. And this video has, I think, 100 dislikes by now. Very few likes. I have lots of comments in there. This is the only time I've ever been attacked, believe it or not. Well, no, this is the first time. The second time was Mushoku Tensei, but yeah, man, the Evangelion community cannot take criticism. I mean, nothing about this movie makes sense. Nothing gets explained. The ending is like basically get a job. I mean, I have so many issues with the reboot series, but I think that Hideaki Anno was trying to spite us. I think he was fed up with it all, and he said, "Here's May. Forget Oscar. Forget Ray. Here's my wife, self-inserted as May. Forget all of you. Get a job. Move on from your wives, your waifus, whatever they say." When Falconer lost. Okay, so this is a video on Dragon Ball Z. You know, now that I think about it, watching Demon Slayer and watching Attack on Titan, it makes me appreciate Dragon Ball Z more. See, Dragon Ball Z is an anime that can make a 20 episode fight look good. Look good. There are so many moments in this series. I mean, my favorite arc is the Future Trunks arc. It's my childhood right here. In this video, I argue that yes, the Japanese version is inferior to the Falconer version, but there was one point that I argue where the Japanese soundtrack beat the Falconer soundtrack, and it is Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2 against Cell. New adaptation versus original. So I have explored deeply. This isn't my only video. I would recommend if you want to watch more content besides this one. But I have compared the original to the new adaptation, and yes, the new adaptation is weak. It is much too faithful. The original OVA series of Legend of the Galactic Heroes from the 80s had amazing staff that did so much to improve the novels. And the new adaptation that's coming out right now, there's almost none of it there. So I did a deep dive and compared them. And yes, Dino Etese will be continuing very soon. I think it comes out in March. And I will be in the forefront. I will be in the forefront of analyzing Dino Etese. Now, not to sound so negative, the readaptation has gotten better. It has gotten better. Now, let's see where I am music wise. That's another thing I hope to talk about soon. The music that I use in my YouTube channel. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. Anyhow, watching Asha no Jo and Legend of the Galactic Heroes will ruin anime for you, and that's true. So in this video, I argue that if you watch Asha no Jo and Legend of the Galactic Heroes, it'll give you a ruler by which to judge other anime. It'll raise your standards to what makes a great anime. And you will find that nothing can come close to these two. For the most part. You might find something here and there, but they set the bar high. And this is why I just don't like almost all seasonal anime, with the exception of like Sunny Boy and Taxi. Spirit Cast number 1, discussing and ranking every 2021 seasonal anime. It's just me just talking about anime in 2021 in general, at least what I watched. The Ashanto community is the best community in anime. In this video, I argue, and it is true still to this day, the best community in anime is the Ashra no Joe community. Ashra no Joe brings out the best in people. Everybody gets along. Everybody is comrades. Everybody talks on a friendly level. It's incredible what the community is like. I've seen it nowhere else. I have never found an anime community quite like this, where everybody just gets along. It's incredible what this anime can do to somebody. I love Tesla now. I am laughing like probably 40% of this video, just laughing about how terrible this anime is. But it's so amusing. I'm bashing and praising. So this is me just continuing to talk about seasonal anime. Several summaries between several series. In this video, I compare the Ashra no Joe manga to the anime. Okay, so the viewers had the embarrassing Crunchyroll Awards. In 2021 Anime Awards Show Spirit Chaser Edition, I make my own anime awards. I did this last year in the beginning of December. I was way ahead of the times. I did my own award show, and I think it's much better than Crunchyroll because Crunchyroll was nothing but, well, you know what it was. So reviews, the Aquatop on White Sand, didn't like it. Explain why. I thought it was a decent analysis. I deep dove into Millennium Actress. I thought it was decent. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation Part 2 analysis. I bashed this to no end. And this was the video, the analysis, the review that got me a lot of attention. Some of it unwanted. But this is sort of like the beginning of my anime analysis career kind of taking off. Tactile Destiny, bash it to no end, garbage trash anime. Sky Nexus, again, just I'm deep diving into a 2-core anime that was horrifyingly bad. And just gonna giving my take and watching it so that you don't have to. Looking back at anime for 2021, this is a no spoiler version of just looking at anime from last year and how it was. These are my two Macross analysis, the series and the movie. Amazing series, a very emotional deep dive into them. Top 20 series and characters and why I chose them. This is my Mao favorites, my top 20 anime and characters and why, without spoilers. It defines what made my taste to a certain extent. He looks like a giant soul. So this is me criticizing the anime community. Because anime YouTubers they're pretty much garbage. For 98% of all anime YouTubers are garbage. There's hardly anybody that's doing it right, in my opinion. Even I'm doing it wrong. And in this video, I just kind of criticize them. I just start bashing them all one by one. And they're still getting worse. Gigak did a video. I think it was like anime in 2021 in a nutshell. Catering to mainstream trash. Did a video on the current winter season. Again, catering to mainstream trash. Not even mentioning the underdogs. Garbage and YouTuber. Always will be. It's just a sea of hopelessness. I will eventually do another video, just not yet. Because I want to, instead of talking about anime YouTubers, I want to talk about their newest videos. Kind of like what I just did with Giguk. And also talk about newer ones. I've done, I think, 3 versions of this video. I might have deleted one because my thoughts were very sloppy there. It might still be around, but I've done this 3 times. I know at least 2 of these still exist. This is me bashing the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. This video has a lot of dislikes. I think particularly because I praise Sunny Boy, unironically. When dreams don't come true. Yeah, Angel Beats is a very simplistic anime that plays on your emotions. But Masami Iwasawa, she was the only character that really kind of rang a bell on me. The inferior Macross. Nobody watched Orgus. Nobody cares about Orgus. But I dared to watch 39 episodes, painfully so, as fast as I could. And though it was a decent anime, yeah, it's like I said, it's the inferior Macross. It's the inferior Macross. And this is one of my newest videos. I had to drop some because I burned myself out doing too many things at once. And that's my current discussion on seasonal anime. Anyhow, so this is my favorite. These are my favorite videos on my YouTube channel. If you want the script, let me know. I'll give it to you, because the strength behind these videos is not the so-called editing that's not there, not the so-called thumbnails, not what you see visually. It's the words. What matters is the words. I should just make a website. But I have analyst and my analyst. In fact, if you want to keep up with my content, it's not just on YouTube. Go to my analyst. No, let me reword that. Go to my anime list and go to my analyst. Whenever I watch anime, I always update it so that you guys know what content I'm watching and what content is gonna come soon. My reviews go on analyst and my anime list first, and then they go on YouTube. Mm, Other than that, that's basically all I'm doing. I am very thankful for my Patreon, my one patron that pledged to me, because it feels like it's very hopeful. Because I've made almost no money doing this at all. But again, it's not really about the money. It's something that I love to do. It's something that I have a passion for, and I will keep on doing it. Even if I were to just disappear one day, I've already left so much behind, so much to think about. Somebody tried to really think about it. Somebody tried to really express themselves, and I plan to do this all the way until I pass to wherever I'm gonna go. Yeah, but anime analysis, I love doing it. That's why I've done it for so long for free, because I love it. I love it, and I love all of you. And the saga continues. Thank you for listening.